Hello, everybody. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Carlos Faught. It is Faught, F-A-U-G-H-T, like Fought a War, except with an A. Um, so I am here now to introduce my podcasts. I will be doing this on two of my channels and social media. And so the point of these podcasts for a couple of reasons. One, I am a life and business coach, and so I will be doing some content for that. And then just to, on the other channel, just to talk about current events, not necessarily politics. I mean, although that seems to be the big topics of the day. But just different current events and social issues, and that doesn't necessarily have to be politics. It can be a lot of different. It could be, I'm a Christian, so you will hear a lot of Christian content, and that's because I am a Christian. That's who I am, and that's the things that I'm interested in, and I care about. I do care about politics and the. Hang on just a second, guys. So I do care about our country, the United States of America. I do care about the world, but I am a citizen of the United States, an American. Although as North Americans, we're all Americans. But we typically tend to refer to ourselves as citizens of the U.S., as Americans. And so, yes, I am an American, and I care about this country. I care about the direction we're going in. I care about the world, in an extension of that. And I care about where we're going as a society, as a people, as a country. I care about the values that we have and the degradation of those values now, which we have been seeing coming for not just years, but decades. And so we'll talk about a lot of that. We'll talk about, faith and other issues. I am in Florida. I won't get into where. I mean, I'm sure if you wanted to look me up, you could find out. I'm going to give you a little history of me, who I am, and my history is as a professionally, I have been in business off and on myself for about 40 years now, and I have been an entrepreneur. I have worked in middle and upper management most of my life, outside of just being an entrepreneur and business owner. I have done everything from construction, or light construction, not necessarily, major construction, but light construction, to printing. I owned a silkscreen printing shop for years. I worked in printing for other people over the years, learning that trade. And it's an area that I excelled at. I was very good at. And as I said, I had been in management, retail management, restaurant management, labor management, some corporate management. And so I have a lot of experience in that area. I've been in IT, information technology, in a few different areas, not just one, but done everything from website design, coding, and e-commerce, and Microsoft technologies, as in networking and PC technician, repair, teaching it. And so I have a lot of experience in that area. So in e-commerce marketing, through business, and in e-commerce. And so when it comes to what everybody refers to now as digital marketing, that is an area that I am very, very experienced. Hang on a second, let me adjust this a little bit. Guys, I got to get my dad shirt in because I am a dad. I am a husband and a father, and my children are grown. My oldest is 40. I have an 11-year-old granddaughter and a beautiful daughter-in-law with my son Josh. And I have a daughter that is about to be 20. And so, and again, I'm married. And so my son is was with my first wife. And our daughter is with my third wife. I've been married 3 times. So, as a friend of mine used to call I had my practice wives, and now I have my wife. So, um, that's, you know, that's not to diminish anyone else. It's just that, we go through life and we have, we I'm not going to say that we make mistakes. We do. It's not just in who we marry, but it's in how we handle those marriages. And so that's an area that I am passionate about as well, which is relationships, not just business, not just marketing, not just other issues, but relationships. Look, our lives are very, very much revolved around relationships. Whether you like it or not, you might be a recluse, you might be a loner, but your life still revolves around relationships. You can't avoid that. Yeah, you could lock yourself at home, do work on the internet, make all your money, and never go anywhere, and have everything delivered. I suppose you could live that way, but that would be extreme. And but we survive, and we live in a world where we're interdependent on each other, and we have relationships, and that's extremely important. So we will talk about relationships a lot as a coach, as a life coach and business coach, faith coach. That is something that I have committed to dealing with and helping people in, because I think there's a lot of broken people in the world, and I have been one of them. Still have my areas of my life where I have hurts and wounds, and we always will, because we live in a world where people will let you down, and it's part of life. It's just part of life. Okay, so we need to be cognizant of that and aware of that, and so we will talk about that. So, professionally now, my focus, we owned a scuba shop. Like I said, I've done a lot of different things. We owned a scuba shop for almost 20 years here locally. I am a scuba instructor, a licensed, Coast Guard licensed captain, where we did scuba charters and other charters. And, I've done a lot in that area. I teach, I've taught in ministry. I taught in areas in apologetics, and did a lot of speaking to the youth. I worked in youth ministry, not children's ministry, but youth ministry, and then college ministry, and also in marriage ministry, where we minister to people again in relationships in their marriages. So now I am focused on the coaching, and just going out into the world through the avenue and the forums provided by social media and YouTube. I've done things on YouTube lightly, but now my focus is to really move into the YouTube area and do more here, because um, I want exposure. I want to be able to use the platform for coaching and ministry, and helping other people. I mean, it's not. Look, it's, as everybody will tell you. I mean, some people act like that they're doing it selflessly. I'm not going to try and confuse anybody, or act like that what I'm doing is completely selfless. Obviously, I would love to be able to make a living, or part of my living through doing podcasting and that kind of thing as anyone else. And so this is not just some selfless area where I'm doing this, just to help the world. That would be a lie, and I'm not a liar. And I do hope to grow this by sharing things. Right now I'm not sharing anything of value to anyone. I'm not sharing anything of interest. I'm just telling you about myself. Hopefully, as I grow and am able to share things of value and share things of interest to others, my audience here will grow, and hopefully we'll get something from my life experiences, and we can share views. Um, I have participated in a lot of over the years and a lot of YouTube channels, and there's some things that I like and don't like about channels. Um, there's one guy. I just told him today that I won't be watching their channel because uh, all they do is focus on people who are paying their membership. And look, I understand. I get it. People that are actually supporting you with paying um, are supporting you. And I understand, when people do, pay to make comments. I get that. I get you want to focus on those first. But you got to remember something if you're a YouTuber, if you have a channel anywhere, that anyone that is watching you and patronizing your channel, just because they're not paying to be a member, they are supporting you. Because without them, the few people that are paying are not going to support you. And you're also not going to be monetized. Okay. Because if you only have a couple hundred people that are paying, that are paid, that are watching you, and the rest are not anymore, you have no channel. So folks, my recommendation to people is to value anyone that is supporting you by watching and listening to you. Because just because they're not paying to make comments, I don't remember what they call that on YouTube now, but anybody, just anyone that is supporting you, you should value that. You should value the time that they're taking out of their lives to watch you and support you, because everybody is important. I'll tell you a little story. When I go to when I go anywhere, restaurants, grocery store, retail stores, it doesn't matter where it is. Everybody wears a name tag, or most places. Some people don't wear their name tags. They should. Um, I, and some people don't understand it. There's even some people that get a little weirded out by it. I don't know why, but we live in a very weirded out society, a society that tends to be offended very easily. But I call people by their names. Why? Because one, it personalizes someone. Two, it gives respect to someone, and I believe everyone, okay, should have a modicum of respect, even though at this point they haven't earned it from me or from anyone else. But just as human beings, we can show somebody some respect and show them that they are human beings and they're worthy of some kind of respect, and they're worthy of being called by their name. Now some people would, there's some people that you would call by their last name. I try to respect my elders, but the older I get, the less I have of those. And you will, as you get older, you will understand that. But still, people that are older than me, or even my age, if I meet them, I might refer them to Mr. or Mrs. Whatever their surname is, their last name is. And that's just a matter of honoring and respecting your elders, or even your peers. So younger people, I tend to respect them, unless they have some actual title that they've earned, like doctor. That's or if they're politicians or a judge, your honor, or a mayor would still be your honor, or mayor, or a senator or a congress person, you refer to them by their title. Um, if they are in the military, you want to give them and refer to them by their rank that they've earned. Okay, hopefully they've earned it. I realize that some people didn't earn a lot. Some people, even people that have been elected, didn't necessarily earn that. But it's still a title that they should be honored with, at least until they prove that they're not worthy of that. And there's plenty of people in positions that prove every day that they're not worthy of that. So yes, I tend to when I go to the grocery store, when I see a waitress or in a restaurant or a clerk at a store or retail place, I will call them by their first name if they're wearing a name tag, um, or I will ask them what their name is. And I'm not asking them their address or where they live or anything like that. Just something to, hey, what's your name? So I can talk to you as a person, one on one, give you that respect. And so yeah, I believe that's something we should do. And so I think that in this world today, that we should learn to give honor, respect to other human beings. It's a lost art. It's something that people today, especially younger people, do not understand. And so a lot of younger people, and you got to be careful as a man now, because girls are unfortunately now raised to be very leery of men who are friendly to them. And I get it. Look, I have a daughter, and I'm very, very protective of her. And yeah, I warn her all the time. You know, keep your eyes open. Be very aware of your circumstances. Know who you're talking to. Don't give too much information. Your name. Okay, fine. You give them your first name. Great. But be careful about people, because there's a lot of people out there that don't have your best interest at heart. We know and we see now. We see with what's going on in the world. We see people, these deranged men that are out there, uh, uh, hurting, unaliving, uh, young girls, young women, and for no reason at all, just to do it, just because there's something wrong with them. There's something evil about them, whether they're demon possessed, or they're mentally off, or both. It's just, we live in a world that is not necessarily good. I'm sorry. I have my little turtle. Oh, that I found the other day. Owning a scuba shop, I have a lot of cool stuff. He's really cool. So I found him in a box the other day and stuff. We had to close our scuba shop down a year ago. So I was going through some of the boxes of stuff that we moved from it, because our house is full, and our storage spaces and everything are full of scuba shop, and I own a print shop, so all the print shop equipment, all that is in storage. It's at my house. We're trying to move it out and sell a lot of it. So if you're interested in any printing equipment or scuba equipment or anything like that, let me know. But yeah, our house is full of this stuff. So I was going through some boxes. We're trying to make room for Christmas, and we still haven't completely. We haven't decorated, put our tree up, which we'll do in the next couple of days. And so it's unusual this late in the year, but hey, you know what? It's just one of those things. So I don't even know where I was, guys. This is not scripted, just so you know, obviously. And I will tell you now, if you ever watch me as it goes through, and I'm planning to try to do this several times a week, on at least two different channels, and but I have to get some software issues worked out, and have to decide what I'm going to share on each. So if it's going to be different on each one, I'll have to do 2 broadcasts. I like to do lives. Uh, and if I don't do lives, I may post some pre pre-done videos um, on there. I'm sure I will. If you go to a couple of my accounts, and this account too, you will see some scuba videos and some videos of manatee and dolphins and sharks and um, classes that I've taught. And I have gigabytes, I have terabytes of videos. So um, I will post other things, of interest, and hopefully things that will be entertaining to you and that you will enjoy. Go watch my scuba videos. You may enjoy those. My Scuba Geek channel, you would probably enjoy some of the videos there. I have some really cool manatee videos, so go watch them. Enjoy those. They're there up there because over years and years, I have taken a lot of really cool videos. Are my scuba days over with? I hope not. I'm not that old, and I still want to teach. It's just because of having to close the shop and financial situations stemming from that, I haven't been able to teach this last 6-8 months, and it's heartbreaking because I love scuba diving and I love teaching people. I love teaching people in IT. I love teaching people in ministry. Teaching is something that God has called me to do. Coaching, I believe, is something that God has called me to do. And uh, just speaking to people, public speaking is something that's an area that, if you have a hard time public speaking, get with me, because as a coach, that is something that I love to work with people on, because I know a lot of people have a hard time public speaking. And it is something that I really, really want to help people with. And it's something that I pray that I can help people with. Uh, because, look, the first time I had to speak to a class, which was a college and career class at church, it was 30 years ago. And I was, I grew up being very shy. And, being not shy was something I had to decide not to be. And I had to work at it. Uh, Public speaking was something that I had to decide that I wanted to do, that I wanted to learn not to be nervous about, that I wanted to learn to do. And so I did. But the first time I prepared for it and I was ready, I thought. But the first time I got up in front of a class to teach it was just uh, it was just sorry, I just saw a notification pop up. Um, it was just a college and career Sunday morning Sunday school class, and I had been asked to teach it, and I did. And I had taught to the youth ministry, to the junior high school before, and spoken to well, yeah, not yet, but I had taught them before, and I was nervous about that, but not like it was to college and career. At that time I was in my early 30s, and they were mostly between 18 and 22, 23. And so standing in front of them was tough. I was nervous. I was sweating bullets. Had the butterflies, and my stomach was doing flip flops, and concentration was not good. But I did take notes in with me, and so that helped. I got through it, and I was complimented a lot afterwards, which helped. It helped for the next time. But since that time, 30 years ago, I have learned a lot. I have spoken in front of thousands, 2000s, and in front of classes and churches, and to more youth, lockup facilities for young people. I have I have taught many scuba classes and other things, taught and spoken to large groups of people for various things. I have done lives on social media many times. I have probably close to 1,200 videos of lives that I've done on social media on various platforms. So it's something that I've grown accustomed to, and I've worked through things that I believe that will help people to get over the heebie-jeebies, the nervousness, the hard things that people have to work through. And guys, I realize that at the moment I'm not talking to anybody, so hopefully some people will find this video and maybe enjoy listening to my rambling and all. But having to say that is the point of that is that no, I don't. I'm not scripted here. And when I do public speaking, I do not ever take notes. And I will tell you the secret to that later if you want to know. And when I coach people or teach people about public speaking, I share with them the secret to that and how I get through that. Excuse me, coffee. It's cold outside, at least for here anyway. It's in the 40s, and last night it got down to about 30, I think. But I'm in Florida, so that's unusual. But I will tell you now that there's a secret to it. You don't have to take notes unless you're just, at first you probably want to, but I can share the secret with you. And one day I will. I will talk about public speaking, just that in general, and we'll talk about some of my things I've learned, my secrets. They might apply to you. They may not be good for you. Everybody has their own mannerisms, their own personality, their own way they approach things, and their own methodology. My methods probably won't be your methods. It's okay. But if you're struggling and you want some secrets that I use, and maybe you can apply that to your speaking, to your ministry or your business or what you do, because hey, you know what? We all at times will have to speak to people, and there's times when we're going to have to stand up in front of some people that we don't know, and whether it's say a few words or actually give a speech or a talk or what have you, it's going to happen as we grow as adults, because that's just the way of the world now. And if you get the more heavily involved you get on social media, depending on what you're doing, if you're just out there, talking to family and friends and posting about things that you enjoy, you may never do a live. You may never post a video of yourself talking or anything like that. You might never do that, and that's fine. It's not for everyone. Public speaking is something that you may never ever do. So, and that's good. More power to you. But if you do decide to do it and you're uncomfortable with it, we can talk. Contact me through YouTube. I will. I'm not sure that I have my profiles all set up correctly as I should. Because this is something right now I'm kind of winging it as I go, and I will get it all together over the next few days, weeks to come, and you will see a lot more. So you will know all my social medias, you will know everything about me, and I want you to. I don't have a lot to hide. I don't have anything to hide, honestly. I do understand though that in this day and age, especially when you see things happening to people like Charlie Kirk, and I know there was another podcaster the other day that had people shooting at his house, and there's problems today with people that if they don't like what you say or what you stand for, there are violent, sick, twisted, evil people that will do things. And it's unfortunate, but it's a sad reality of the world we live in. So, will I ever say anything that's going to make somebody come after me? Uh, who knows? You might not like it just because I'm a Christian. You might not like it because I am a conservative. You might not like it because I support Trump. In most things, look, I don't look. I don't support every pastor. I don't support every politician just because they are. There's a lot of pastors I don't agree with. There's some pastors that I don't think are of God, and then some that I don't even think are Christians. Okay, and I will, and I tend to be very vocal about things that I think and believe. Now, I will tell you now that you will not see me come out here and just uh, personally lambaste somebody just because. That's not my way. Um, and you will not see me go after people personally and attack them. I may respond to attacks in a more personal way, if they attack me personally. But it depends on the circumstance. One, you're not going to see me cussing and carrying on. Rarely will you see that. I think I did call somebody, a JA, a jackass, in the last day or so, but they deserved it and then some. Um, but as a whole, as a business person, as a professional in many venues and aspects, and I will tell you now, I do not think cussing and cursing in public is professional. I don't think it's something that we should do as Christians. I don't think it's something that we should do as conservatives. I don't think it's something we should do as business owners and entrepreneurs and people that are supposed to be. Okay. Sorry, I saw another notification come up. My phone is sitting in front of me, so the notification popped up, and I just had to read a little bit there. So, anyway, I don't think it's a good thing. I don't think it shows you as a person of character, and with ethics, and so you're not going to see me do it. You're definitely probably not going to ever see me say anything. Responding to a comment, you're not going to say me say any really bad words. Calling somebody a jackass or I don't know, something else, jackwagon or something along those lines, um, a hat or something like that. You may see that occasionally, but rarely. And you're gonna, just so you know, if you watch me or listen to me or you read anything that I write, and I do a lot of content, I write my own copy. Yes, I'll let AI take it and edit it for structure and for grammar because I am the run on sentence king. So I like to let it take it and do it. I have to go back and undo some of what it does because I don't like it changing uh, my content that I put in it and changing my original meaning. And a lot of the things that I say, I say a lot of things purposefully. I'm a man of words. And so when I say things, when I write things, I do it for a purpose. Whether it's for humor, my dry humor, I do have a dry sense of humor, whether it's to make a point. Um, the things that I say and the way I say them are for a reason. And AI is notorious for wanting to change those things, and I don't like it. So I will forgive my messy office guys, but like I said, the scuba shop and the print shop, we have stuff stored here, so I have stuff piled everywhere. Um, but this is where my desk is. So and my work bench for repairing scuba equipment and other things, and computers. I do computer work. So anyway, I'm a man of words. I say things for a reason. So I write my own copy. And so when you read things, you can know that AI may have edited for grammar and structure, but it may even replace some words of mine with better words. Sometimes it does that, but a lot of times it will change words that I don't want changed. But you will know that if, I don't care if it's 20 pages, I wrote it. It was my original writing that I just let AI edit it for the grammar, to take out the 20 sentences that are in one. So, changing it into 3 or 4 paragraphs instead of one long paragraph that's one sentence. So just so you know, it's me. It's not AI. AI did not write that for me. There are some things that I will let AI write that are based on my ideas and some of my writing, and then I have to go and I have to make sure it's mine, not AI. I call my Chat GPT C3PO. Gemini, I have named him after the little robot on Buck Rogers, Twiki. And so Twiki and C3PO are my AI. Just made them a little more personal. And although, unlike what you hear out here, AI is not self-aware. It will never, ever, ever be self-aware. That is a myth. That is something that even AI companies put out because they want to sensationalize and they want to promote their companies and their platforms. That's the only reason. Okay, AI is never going to take over the world unless a human being is making it do so, and they're behind it all. Okay, and I know a lot of people disagree about that. I hate it for you, but it's just a fact. And also, when we talk about artificial intelligence, that it is grossly misnamed because it is not intelligent. Okay, it is a computer. It is processors and memory that are processing information. And despite what you want to think, human beings don't just process information. That's not true. Okay, we don't just have memories and a processor, which is the brain. We're human beings with a soul and we are way beyond anything like that. We are made in the image of God, and you can disagree with that all you want to, but it's the truth. And so, computer systems are written based on code, and no matter what you see written and said in these articles by AI companies and by people who want to believe it, which are just people who are conspiracy theorists, AI is not aware. And it does, and all it is written on code. I don't care if the code tells it to go out and find information and do things with it. It's still based on the code. I don't care what you say. It's based on code. What it does and all it does and all it can do is based on code. And if you work with AI on a regular basis, and I do every day, long times through the day, that's what I do. I'm using AI and working with it. You will find out that no matter what you like or don't like, it has limitations, and it's irritating limitations because it won't do things that you ask it to do. It will do things that you ask it not to do. It will argue with you. It makes mistakes. It gives you back lies and false information because in the code, it is told to go find certain information and do certain things, and that's all it can do. And it can only return to you the information that it has access to per the code, what the code tells it to, per the internet and the things it has access to, that it can access for information. Okay, and if you're trying to get it to do images and graphics for you, you understand this beyond anybody else, because AI will screw up an image. It will return things that you told it not to. It will return things that you didn't want it to return. It will return things that it will not return the things that you've asked it to. It will make images or not make images, and it'll come back and tell you that it can't make an image because of these restrictions or those restrictions. The other day, what did I ask it to do? I asked it to do something the other day, and I got a warning. Oh, it was so I asked it to give me a scripture, which AI has written prayers for me, beautiful, scriptural, awesome prayers, and I know the difference. And so I have worked with it on things that I've written in Christianity, and asked them to supply the scripture references that I have put in my writing. So I didn't have to go and actually, if I didn't know them by heart, and I know a lot by heart, but if I didn't know it by heart, I would just say, I would say, hey, C3PO or Twiki, put the scriptures that I've referenced into this content, and it'll do it. So I asked it to look up a scripture the other day, and it brought it back in the New King James Version. If you don't know, the New King James Version is under some strict copyright by the people who wrote it, which I absolutely do not agree with. It's the interpretation of Scripture, of the Bible. And it shouldn't be so heavily copyrighted that, or trademarked, or whatever you want to call it. They're not the same. Trust me, I know all about both, but it's one of those things that it should not be like that. But anyway, it gives me this big red warning, about not being made to return this type of content, and I was like, what? So I complained to OpenAI and said, this was on ChatGPT. I complained to OpenAI because Gemini didn't do that. And said, look, what is the deal here? Are you discriminating against Christians now and returning Christian content in Scripture? And, because it did not tell me why it was doing it, what the warning was about, why it was there, why it was telling me that it was not made to return this content. It was just a huge red warning on my content, and it wouldn't go away. And it really irritated me because I don't want that on my content. And so it returned finally the bot. And you learn that when you go to support now, from most places, you get back a return from, an automated bot, which is irritating in itself. That it was doing it because the New King James Version that it returned it in is copyrighted. So, and it shouldn't do that because it found it from a source that is paid to use the copyrighted content and give it to people to use. So if you go to Bible Hub or Bible.com or whatever it is, and you look up the New King James Version, they have the rights to use that and give that to you to use. And if you get it from somebody who has done that, you have the right to use it. Okay. So it was doing, I'm sorry, guys, I've got my allergies are really acting up. That's the bad side of Florida. No matter what time of year it is, you have pollen, even when it's 30 degrees. So allergies are acting up. But anyway, so it shouldn't be returning that. But as I said, guys, it's built on code. And so one of the coders, the company has put into the code, into the restrictions, into the platform, that whenever it returns this, that, or the other, or these types of content, or these types of returns on your prompts, or what you've asked or for it to do, it's going to give you warnings, or it won't return it, or it will tell you it can't. So don't be afraid of AI. I get irritated with AI. Now, having said that, there is some AI that is more or less unrestricted. The bad part of that is that it returns stuff that I don't want to see. It returns, adult content and things that are pretty bad. I went on one and I was like, oh my gosh! So I had to delete it because it was returning stuff I did not want to see. And frankly, honestly, it was returning stuff that is extremely perverse and sick and twisted. And there's things that go beyond, naked girls or naked men. Okay, I don't want to see either. I don't. But there's some things that go way beyond that, and I'm just like, this is terrible. I got news for law enforcement. If you want to know who people who are doing bad things to other people out there are, just go to those things and watch who's what they're putting into AI, because what I saw was terrible, and I saw that. Look, I left one of the most popular and biggest graphics sources for people out there on the internet. This has been a year and a half, almost 2 years ago. I had been a member for years because I got a lot of graphics for them, which have 3 or 4 different licenses with them, but I got them so that I could use them to make content, not to use it. So I don't like to use anything straight out of the box, even if it's licensed to do it, to make graphics. I do a lot of graphic arts. And so I would use those for reference. But I had been with their AI. I just didn't like it very much because it returned horrible graphic content. And so I didn't use it very much, although I paid a little extra to use it. So they had a new AI that came out on their platform that I had access to. So I was like, well, cool, let me go try it out and see how it does on the graphics. Maybe they've improved their graphics on here. And so when you opened it up, you automatically, like a lot of the graphics, AI graphics or image generators, as they call it, a lot of the image generation platforms, when you go to them, you automatically have other people's content that they produced, at least one from each person, come up in a gallery of content, just to give you examples and show you what other people are doing and that kind of stuff. And I don't have a problem with that. That's great. But what popped up on this one platform when I went, and this was just for everybody to see, was this person that was doing children naked. And it was sick. Now, it wasn't them doing things of a, of a sexual nature. It was just them with no clothes on. And it was sick. And so I tried to report it, but there was no way to report anything. And so I ended up, I canceled my subscription with them because I thought if they're allowing this, then there's something wrong with them, not just the person who's doing it. There's something wrong with them, because I believe it, guys. I'm as an American, I'm a person who believes heavily in free speech rights. I do. I believe our Constitution does not give us the right to free speech, but it protects the rights to free speech in the First Amendment, among other things. Okay. Second Amendment, Fourth Amendment, 14th Amendment. I believe in our Constitution protecting our rights. Now, there's some things that I believe that it's protecting that aren't rights, that I think that should be taken out of the amendments. But regardless, I believe in free speech. I do not, however, believe that someone who is producing AI images of children like that should be protected. Sorry, to me, that's not free speech. It's not. It's sick and twisted. And if someone out there is doing that, you are sick and twisted. And I think that you should be looked at heavily, because if you're doing that, there's other things in your life that are really bad and wrong, and you're probably doing things to children. And I think you should be taken off and hopefully put in prison. I personally agree with what they passed here in Florida with DeSantis and our Congress here in Florida, our legislative branch, that if you're doing bad things to children, you should get the D penalty. Sorry, but I believe that. Granted, I've known a few people in my life that were accused of doing things to their own children that were accused of it just by a vindictive ex, just to keep them from seeing their children. I've seen that twice in my life, and I knew the people, and I knew that what they were saying, and they eventually got it changed, but the ex got away with it because they don't punish them for doing that. But still, in the year or two that it took to get it cleared up and be exonerated, they had to see their children with a social worker present every time. That's just messed up. I believe in protecting children, though. Okay. But I also believe that if someone has done that to someone, that they should be put in prison. If an ex does that to their spouse, to their ex-spouse, to keep them vindictively from seeing their children, they should go to prison for that. Sorry, but that's just the only answer. Don't know how I got on that. Well, it was about AI. So yeah, AI does some things it shouldn't do. And there are platforms of AI that are open where you don't have the restrictions. Although there's probably may not be some for that kind of stuff, but there's probably some for other things, which would be, trademark and copyright stuff. Although a lot of them don't restrict that. A lot of them are based in places where they're not going to be touched by most people and their copyrights and trademarks. So, and honestly, I mean, for a company to sue you over that, you have to be doing something to profit by it. And most people that do things are doing it for their own personal use. So anyway, I think I was on AI. I've morphed on a lot of different subjects here. So, and guys, listen, when you watch me or listen to me or read my writing, my content, I try to stay on one subject on most things, but sometimes I take, some people call them rabbit holes or rabbit trails, and some of mine are black holes. So when I go down those, it's a black hole. You just got to disappear. So it just happens. It's one of those things. And you'll find that I do have a very dry sense of humor. And as I said, you will see that I do not. I don't go after people. I don't say things that are going to be personally hurtful to people. I don't want to do that. I don't want to hurt people. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I don't want to go around insulting people, not for the sake of getting popularity or getting attention from anybody. We see too much. I see a lot of, podcasters and people on here that, especially that do political commentary and pundits, where they put a lot of titles on their content that are basically just lies. You will see, you'll go, what? Is that true? And then you go on there and you realize that they're hold on, guys, hold on. Y'all be quiet. Hush. I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. We have 4 Australian Shepherds, as if life is not hectic enough. And we have 5 cats. All of the cats are rescues. When we closed down the dive shop from the last location that we were forced to for like 2.5 years, um, the we had feral cats there. They seem to follow us wherever we go. And so we had like 15 at the old shop. And the new shop that we were in, we ended up with a mama cat there, and she had kittens three times. And the first ones we caught them all to save them because we had an osprey nest that was right by the shop. I mean, on the property right next to the shop. Like 100 feet away from it, and the ospreys would, they would kill the cats and eat them. So, especially the babies. So we caught all the kittens and to save them from the ospreys. And so we kept two of those, and then we couldn't catch Mama yet. Well, actually, I did, but she was not easily tamed. We tamed quite a few over the years, but she didn't want to be tamed. And so, although she got better over time, but we ended up letting her go because it was just too much to tackle the kittens and her at one time. And so, and they had been weaned. Just so you know, we helped in that process. But so we ended up giving away all but two, and then the next litter, we caught some, and then there were two that were left out wild. We caught one of them, but we let him go, and he was fine. But we fed them. The girl, she would not get close enough for us to ever get her. The male, who we call Shadow, he would come up and he eventually got to where he would let us pet him. He was still skittish. Mama would let us get really close. She would come up to us, but she wouldn't let us really pet her or do anything. I had a mama cat at the old shop. She would let me pick her up. Well, I had three at the old shop that I could pick up. We love animals, but at the old shop, the bald eagles, the ospreys, and we had a red hawk there that would take the cats or the kittens if they ever had litters. So we had to watch them too. Now the bald eagle would take the adult cats, and he would come. One of those, we there's probably 2 or 3 dozen on the island, where Fort Pickens is, that you can see out there all the time. Beautiful animals. I've got pictures of them. But he would come and sit on the light pole, on the power pole, 15, 20 feet from the back of the shop. And we were on the bay there. I mean, the bay was out the back door, literally 30 feet from the back door. And he would sit on that. And so we would see kittens and adult cats disappearing, and we figured out that he and the other big birds were taking them for food. So we had to, we learned to start catching some and taming them and keeping them, but we fed literally 15 feral cats there. And the landlord, his sons were, especially one, were just spoiled rich boys, and well, mainly one. Well, two of them were kind of that way, but just spoiled little rich boys, and they were not nice. They were hateful, and they wanted to have them all carted off, and they didn't like them out there. And although we and the other part of the area that they rented to the lady that Yoko that owned the flower shop, she adopted them too. So, but they didn't like it. So, but we still did it anyway. Because we learned that the people that claim that they will catch them and take them and have them neutered and spayed, that have said that they will bring them back, don't. They fooled us a couple of times when they did that, because I used to run them off. Oh, but we're going to bring them back, and we found out quickly that they lie, and they take them and they either euthanize them or do something else with them. And you know what? Look, you know what? I don't really want to get. That's the subject I don't want to reach right now. But anyway, we just fed them. And we actually took some ourselves to be spayed and neutered back then. Mama, we were going to have her spayed, but we didn't ever get to do it. So she had had another litter, and there was only one left from it. We never could get close to it, and we finally stopped seeing it. So we don't know if it just was caught by somebody else or the ospreys got it or what. We're not sure. But when we left, we couldn't get Mama, and but we did catch the boy. The girl we couldn't catch. She kind of disappeared too. She wouldn't let us catch her. And so we were too busy moving because the landlord sold the property, and we had to get out. We had to leave the property. So we caught the boy, and he is Shadow. We took the other two that we already had. We brought them home. We had two other cats that we had already rescued and kept and had tamed, two females. Everybody ended up being spayed or neutered, and so we have 5 cats now. The two boys that we had caught early on that we kept, that they're good. They're still a little wild, although they're older than Shadow. Shadow is actually he was the most wild of all 5 of them, but he's the best cat. He is so sweet and so nice, and just so awesome. Uh, So, and I'm not a huge cat person. I've had cats in my life that I loved, but my wife and my daughter, they're the ones that love them so much. Um, if I had a choice, I would have no more than 2 cats. We have to keep 3 of them in cages most of the day, big cages, so don't get alarmed, just because they'll tear stuff up if they're not. And they terrorize the 2 female cats, because these 3 are males and the other are females, and they terrorize them. And so one of them, 2 of them, I rescued them, and they're my buddies, and so I don't let the male cats terrorize them. So, but they get out and play and do all that stuff. So we have to keep them separate. So we put the girls in my daughter's bedroom while the boys are out. And I keep them out of my office because they tear stuff up in here too. So they're just kind of wild. They'll get over that eventually. They're just young. And so anyway, we have 5 cats. We have 4 Australian Shepherds. We did not rescue the Australian Shepherds, although the other dogs we've had in the past that we, unfortunately, over the past 5 years, we've had to put our older dogs down because they were getting old and sickly. And I don't believe in keeping animals when their quality of life has gone down that much. So I love my dogs. The oldest is mine. His name is Ruddy. And then my daughter's is the next, a year younger. Her name is Bella. And then the last 2 that I got 3 years ago, one is my wife's, which is not Bella, but Grace, and then her brother is Sonny. And the other 2 are smaller. They are true mini Australian Shepherds. Bella and Ruddy are a little bit bigger. Ruddy is the biggest. But my friend Kathy, that we drove to Oklahoma to get all these dogs and we've gotten to be friends. Kathy's just a sweetheart, and they've raised them. Ruddy, we were not. Kathy neglected to tell me that the 2 that I got at that time, one went to a friend at the time, and mine, Ruddy, were half standard and half mini. So mine has gotten up to even 80 pounds. So we have him on a raw diet. So he stays at 55, 60 pounds now. So, but he's still big he's still closer to a standard size. Bella is closer to his size. So she is mixed with a standard too. And so, but her father is different. The mother is the same. So no, the mother and dad are different, but she is the daughter of Ruddy's aunt, mother's sister, and another male. And so they're different, but they're cousins. They're related. But she's fairly big too, so she has some standard in her. The other 2 are really minis. They're 30, 35 pounds each. And, Bella's about 45 pounds. Ruddy's about 55 pounds. But I love them. Ruddy just turned 9. Bella just turned 8. The 2 puppies, I think, just turned 3 or 4. and I think maybe four now, 3 or 4. But I love my dogs. Don't mess with my dogs. They are family. I love them. I love them and like them more than I do a lot of people. And so they are family to us. And so you don't mess with my dogs. Um, so they are the thing. And when something happens to them, especially Ruddy and Bella, but Ruddy first, something happens to him, it will just really it will break my heart completely because he is my buddy. He and I have a special relationship because when I got him, he was with me 24/7. Except when I was on the boat and couldn't take him with me because and I'll tell you a story about that later, but he just ended up not being a dog I could take on the boat with me, at least not diving anyway. So, but he was with me 24/7. He went to the shop with me. He was in my car with me wherever I went. Uh, my wife ended up, after a little time, uh, sleeping in my daughter's room with her to get her used to sleeping by herself because she slept with us all the time. So that went on for a long time. And while she did that, Ruddy was with me. He slept in the bed with me, and he still does. He still gets up in the bed with us. Now he gets down and gets cold on the floor because the bed gets a little bit too hot for him because he's got a thick. He's a red merle and he's got a thick coat. But and I'll show you guys some pictures of him later. He actually has um, his own Instagram channel, so I'll share that at some point. But Ruddy he and I have a very close, special relationship. We're very, very tight. I'm his daddy. I'm all their daddy. So everybody sees me as daddy, but I am his daddy. He and Bella both. We have a special bond. Ruddy and I are very bonded. He loves me. He go in the house. He goes wherever I go. He is with me all the time, or at least most of the time. So he's attached to my wife too and my daughter, but he and I are especially close. And so when something happens to him, it'll be bad. Being 9 years old, hopefully he'll be around for another 4, 5, 6 years. I hope, and be in good health. So as I said, they're on a raw diet, so that has helped them tremendously. They eat mostly raw chicken, although I take the roasted chickens from the store. I get them very, very cheap, and I take them and I cook them even more. I debone them and put the bones back in the broth and cook it and make a chicken broth, bone broth out of it. Take the bones out, and then I use that with the meat, put some egg in it, and a lot of times I'll put some minerals and vitamins in it for them, and some other things in there that are good for them. And I make a roasted chicken casserole from it. That is very natural, very good for them. And we cut it in slices. I bake it, get it nice and firm. We cut it in slices for them in squares, and big squares about like that. And they eat that for a meal a lot of times. And so it's very good for them. And I add vegetables to it. I get the frozen vegetables, the mixed vegetables, which are inexpensive. But I take that, I mix that into their casserole, and so they eat that, and it's good for them. It gives them a little bit of fiber, uh, gives them some vitamins and minerals, and I'm going to start adding some probiotics to it and prebiotics to it, so they'll have that as a part of their diet, and take good care of them. So like I said, it's helped them tremendously. Now they still, if they have fleas, they still have a problem with itching. Pollen causes some problems, but overall their allergies have gone away. Overall, their weight has been regulated. Ruddy dropped from being up on crappy. Even though we bought expensive food, guys, listen to this. We bought expensive food, for them. But even though we did, when we went to the raw diet, because Ruddy got up to 75, 80 pounds, which was too much for him. Now granted, he's all muscle. I mean, he's a very strong dog. Oh my gosh, they all are, but he's very strong. And but he got up to 75, 80 pounds, which was not healthy. But when he went on the raw diet after 3 months, he was down to 55 pounds, almost 60, between 55 and 60. And it's just a healthy weight for him. It's where he needs to be. So I cannot speak highly enough about the raw diet. I can't. I try to give them some broth and some probiotics and prebiotics for them, just that. And so I think it's good for them. So I highly recommend it. And look, I will tell you now, don't believe all the garbage that people put out about eating raw meat, about them getting getting food poisoning from it. That is just insane talk. It is, because they're not. They haven't gotten anything. What do you think they eat in the wild? They kill a lot of small animals, whether it's birds or other types of game. Whether it's birds, other small animals, rabbits, things of that. Well, that's what they eat. Okay, they're not out there eating berries. Now they may eat some occasionally. I mean, I've seen dogs to eat a lot of strange stuff, but including grass. And then they'll do that, But I will tell you now, they say a lot of stupid stuff because they try to relate everything to humans. But even humans, if you decide to eat raw meat, and I mean not necessarily chicken or pork or fish, I mean I like sushi, some sushi. I don't like really fishy fish, but tuna and some whitefish, I like it. But as far as as a whole, I mean, I will eat some tartare, which is raw beef. But I'm not going to normally. I would not eat raw chicken or raw pork because there are problems with that for humans. For dogs and other animals, not so much. And in the years we've been doing this now, I think we've been doing this for 4 years now with them. In the 4 years we've had them on that, and we got them on that because we kept a friend's German Shepherd who we thought was 3 years old or so, very young. Turned out she was 8, and she was so young and so vibrant, and had such a beautiful coat, and looked so good, and the grays weren't there. And when we kept her, and then he told us that she was 8 years old, she was on that raw diet, and he told us about how they did it and everything. We're like, wow. So we tried it. And so we go and we buy the leg quarters, which is the least expensive. We can't afford to go buy breasts for the dogs. But the leg quarters is the least expensive. And we'll buy the leg quarters. Now, you can buy some gizzards and some livers and things like that, which are cool, which are cheap. Or cheaper, not per pound, but just to buy a little bit. And we put them on that. And now look, they eat the raw, the bones and all. And people are like, really? I'm like, yeah, because we don't feed them bones and stuff from, cooked chicken, especially fried chicken, because the bones get dried out and get brittle and they can actually hurt them. They get sharp, and they can actually get lodged in their throat and their intestines, and so we don't feed them that. But the raw bones are soft and are digestible, and that's not going to happen with them because they're pliable, they're bendable, they don't break off in points. Now, I will tell you, in the leg of a chicken, there is a long, sharp, very needle sharp bone that I take out, and make sure that they don't get that. but and if you ever open up a chicken leg, you can find that bone. So it's there. I debone all the roasted chickens when I cook them, and put them in thing. I debone all that, and then I put it in the Ninja, and get it nice and pureed. I mean, it's still meat, but it's pureed really well. So, which doesn't hurt it. It doesn't take anything out of it. It just makes it easier to cook and easier to roast. I mean, easier to make into a casserole, and gives us more bang for the buck. Um, and when you add egg to it, it makes it cook better. It gives it more body to it, and makes it better. So there's more to it, and the egg is not bad for them. Um, so anyway, I do that with it, and it's really good for them. So guys, as you can see, all kinds of information and stuff. So this is my life, but now professionally, to get away from the dogs for a little bit. And if you have any questions about raw diet and stuff like that, just feel free to ask me anytime. Coaching, life coaching. Uh, um, my my actual coaching is the Quantum Coaching Academy. Okay, and we use the quantum coaching method. And I have a group set up. I actually have groups on schools set up I'm setting up that are not ready yet. That will one will be free. The other one will have a membership to it. And I will eventually have a membership on here on at least one channel, and maybe both. I don't know, where you can get different benefits and more information. So. I will be selling my coaching services. I do sell my coaching services, and I will have coaching courses available as well, where you can get a course or two or a few courses from that, where you can actually buy those individually. Some will come with personal coaching, some will not. Some will be included in the coaching system. And so, I will be doing some, I do what are called tiny challenges that Richmond Den came up with, which are five private sessions of 30 minutes each. We will schedule out 5 sessions to do, and over that time we will do some discovery of where you are, what your goals are, where you want to be, and we will try to plan a little bit of that out with you over 5 days. And then if you want to go further with me into actual private coaching and go through my program, then we can do that too. And you can pay for that. And I would, I'm very, very happy to do that with people. I love to do that. It's one of the things I enjoy. And so I like, guys, I'm a relational person. I love relationships. I love people. As the old saying goes, I don't meet many, if at all, strangers. It's just me. I don't. I like people as a whole. Now, I'm not, and I will tell you now, and my family knows this. If I meet somebody and I don't like them or I don't trust them, I won't talk to them. I will be very, very nonverbal with them. I will not interact with them much. And when I see them, you will notice that. Okay? Because if I get a bad sense of somebody, you can call it a feeling or a vibe or what have you. If I get that from somebody, you will find that I will not be very, 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 very friendly to them. I won't be ugly or unfriendly. I won't be rude to them. I won't treat them badly. I treat everybody with some modicum of respect. I'm nice to everybody. Always am. That's just me. It's my personality. And I'm not going to punish somebody just because I have a bad feeling. Okay? That's not right. But if I have that bad vibe feeling, sense of somebody, or I don't like somebody the way they are, their personality is, or how they act, or what have you, that doesn't, I'm probably not going to work at having some kind of relationship with them. And if somebody shows me that they're not trustworthy, I'm not going to have a relationship with them. And in my family, I will make sure I'm very protective of them, from them, especially my child. So I'm very protective of my daughter, and even at almost 20 this month, this week actually, she'll be 20. I'm very protective of her, although she just moved out to stay somewhere for a while, to house sit somebody's house, and she's treating it as a permanent situation, which I don't think it is. But regardless, I miss her terribly because I don't like her being gone. She's my baby, guys. She's my baby. And so I'm very protective of her. And, I don't, nobody is going to be around my child that I don't trust, unless, I can't help it. Okay. So, who she is friends with, unfortunately, I can't control because she's a grown woman. And she thinks she's way more grown than she is. But that's just part of life, right, guys? All right, there we go. It's weird, guys, because everything's reversed. So it's my right hand, but it's on my left side when I'm looking at it. So anyway, I think I could reverse that, but I'm not gonna worry about that. But so anyway, my daughter, my son's 40 years old, guys. My son's 40. So and while I would say I'm protective of him, he's bigger than I am, and he's a grown man, and they live 300 miles away from me, so I can't be too protective. Although if somebody were to attack him in any way, shape, or form, or way, they would have to deal with that. Because I love my children. I love my granddaughter. And when I say my children, I mean my daughter-in-law too. I love my children, and I love my granddaughter. And nobody is going to harm them, attack them, or do anything, whether it's verbally or physically or in any way, shape, or form. So I know I'm talking to nobody. So it's okay. No problem. No problem. As I get into this and I put some content out here that actually has some relevance and has a point to it, I'm sure I'll pick up a few viewers here and there. I hope. And I will. And, hey, I think I've talked long enough, guys. Anyway, I'll share more about myself over the coming days, weeks, months, and hopefully we can, I will gain some viewers and some hopefully friends. I love friends. I love friends. I like people. Hopefully some people that, like-minded people, other Christians, maybe conservatives. Just because you call yourself a Christian or a conservative doesn't mean that we're going to jive. It doesn't mean that we're going to get along. It doesn't even mean we're going to have the same views. Okay. You would think that you would, but it doesn't mean that. So, does that mean I'm not going to like you because we have some different views? No, not at all. I've got some friends that are Democrats. We don't have the same views. A lot of that stuff we don't talk about. My friend Denise, she's very much, I think, a Democrat. We don't talk about it, but I've seen her post outside of our communications and what we've done together. But we're close friends online. We've never physically met, but I love my friend Denise. She's my buddy. She's a sweetheart. And, as we were talking tonight, if I ever win the lottery, she's one of the top people I would bless and help out there because I love her. She's a sweetheart. She's my buddy. And we may not agree on some politics and things of that nature, but that's okay. That's okay. We don't have to, okay? Because I know her heart, and I know she's a good person, and I know that despite what we may disagree on, there's some things that count in life that we do agree on. And so that's where I am on that. We don't have to agree to be friends, okay? Short of you, being a criminal or being someone that harms children or something of that nature, or wants to harm other people, we're fine. You don't have to be a Trump supporter, you know. But look, guys, if you say something to me bad about somebody that I like or I agree with, we'll talk about it, okay? Because you just opened the door. If you don't want to talk about it, don't talk to me about it, okay? I'm not going to talk to you about it just because. I'm not going to go on your post and start slamming you because of what you believe in. Okay? Now, if you're a podcaster and you're out here putting your views out to everybody in the world, then yeah, I may make a comment to you. I may tell you what I think about what you say. All right? But you opened the door for that. That was your choice. Nobody else's choice. It was your choice. Okay? And if you're a podcaster or you're on social media and you put that out, then you are telling people you want their input. Now, granted, there's some people like my buddy Denise, if they put stuff out I don't agree with, there's an old saying that I have that I've used with my children. And I told my wife this many years ago about our daughter when she was struggling with her over eating in a high chair, which my daughter did not like to do, and she got upset about it and would cry. And you trying to get her to eat was a chore for her. And I told my wife about that, about some of the things that she was doing. I said, look, you have to learn to choose your battles in life, especially with our children. And I said, you're making her hate the experience of eating, of being in a high chair, just because you want her to conform to certain things that really overall don't matter. Not at her age, not as a just now toddler, okay, where she's sitting up and she can actually hold a spoon and do things. You're making it so that she does not want to do it. You're making it an experience that is going to affect her. So choose your battles. Okay? Let's try to make this a good experience. And I'm not saying encourage bad behavior. That's not what this is about. It's about some things are not things that you need to make such a big deal out of. So if she wants to play with her food a little bit, hey, she's 10 months, 11 months, 12 months, 14 months, 15 months, whatever she is, year and a half. Okay, fine. Okay. As she gets a little bit older, we need to work on the whole thing of having some manners, not making a mess while she's eating. Okay. But we can encourage that in different ways. But right now, what was happening is she was choosing the wrong battle. The battle was over now things that were not important. The main thing was her being able to have nourishment, eat these foods. Okay? So in life, when I see people post stuff that I care about, that I know, and they're posting things I don't agree with, I've learned you choose your battles. Okay? Some things you don't comment on. Now, there's people out there that are public figures. One of my friends on Facebook I've been friends with for many, many years. She's a big public figure. And we've talked many times over the years. But there's some things that right now we don't agree on. Okay? She made some comments about some people that I happen to respect very much that I don't agree with. And she said some things that I know were not right, that are false. And I've called her out on it. Not ugly. I'm not mean to her. I just gave her the facts. And so, well, now wait, this is the truth. This is the truth. What you're saying is not true. Okay. I wasn't, oh, well, you're just blah, blah, blah. And this is the truth. And you're just a blah, blah, blah. That's not the way you handle things. Choose your battles. Okay. That's not how you approach people you disagree with. Learn to have an adult, mature conversation, even if it's a debate, even to, have that discussion, but you don't have to call people names to do that. Now, if somebody's calling you names and being ugly and hateful, they're fair game. Now, I don't necessarily want to stoop to their level, but I am not the guy that they want to get into that with. Because as my wife and people that know me will tell you, I have a very, very sharp tongue, and I'm very good at it. God has gifted me with the gift of words. And while I don't think that God wants me to use it in that way, I can. I can very much reduce people to nothing in a hurry with my words. And typically, if I ever do that, I'm usually not very proud of it afterwards. Again, choose your battles. It's better to me with a lot of people just to block them and move on. I don't always do that. And the last couple of weeks, with the way some things that are going on with some people, podcasters and people out there that are being very nasty and ugly and hateful, Candace Owens, people like that, and Tucker, people like that. Yeah, there's people out there that there's some things going on with those people that are wrong, and very, very wrong. And their followers, or as I call them, minions, are very hateful. In my opinion, very stupid people that are out there spreading misinformation or what is really lies about other good people. And so I'll call them out, especially if they make a comment on my stuff. They're not going to get any grace and mercy from me over that. And when I see them on, saying these horribly stupid and ugly and hateful things and telling lies on large pundits and podcasters' posts, I'll call them out sometimes, especially if it's just completely, utterly ridiculous. And often it is. So, that's just the way it is, guys. But again, choose your battles. I do realize that if I do that, I just open myself up and I'm fair game now. So choose your battles. Are these battles that are worth it? Are they worth, you being, because unfortunately, the large platforms don't honor free speech. And look, there's some things they shouldn't honor. Again, I just talked about free speech and there's some things they shouldn't. Frankly, they will protect people for putting smut and nasty, filthy stuff on a couple of the platforms, but they will shut down and ban accounts for running their businesses and putting legitimate good stuff on there, or even making political statements or making Christian statements. They will shut you down for that when they'll allow the worst, filthiest stuff out there and allow what is, to me, virtually young girls to be put out there wearing nothing, and a couple of the platforms allow that all day long and don't shut anybody down for it. And you report it, and you know what, they always come back, well, we didn't take that post down because we don't see it didn't break our community service. Oh, really? Okay. But the guy that posted a scripture on there, you shut him down or her down. The person that made a comment that was conservative, you shut them down. But showing young girls almost, with nothing on is okay. Making suggestive things, pictures and things like that is okay. It's not okay. So again, it's not a fair world, but we have to play with it. So again, pick your battles. If you decide to do something, make sure that you understand the consequences. If you're going to make comments and posts on somebody's stuff and you're going to choose to interact with them or engage with them is a better way to say it, with someone, and get into a less than friendly discussion, heated, if you will, then, understand that there may be consequences for that. The platform may come after you. And oftentimes they will go after the person that is the better of the two, and which is sad, but it's just the truth. So, choose your battles, right? That could be a topic all by itself, and it probably will be. I was thinking about it. I may just do a whole segment on that. So, folks, I'm getting off here. I hope you have a blessed day. Merry Christmas to anybody. Happy Hanukkah to all my Jewish friends out there. It is your Hanukkah for the next few days. And pray for all of the victims, families in Australia that were taken and unalived by terrorists there. Very tragic. I won't get into the politics of that right now. We could, but I'm not going to. Okay. This is my channel, which will be more for coaching and other topics. But I do have the Truth Serum channel, which will be for a lot of varied topics. And then I have my Scuba Geek channel, which I'll have up, which was for scuba and other things like that. And so I don't know what I'm going to do with that channel, since I don't have the scuba shop right now. So we'll see. I don't know, but check out my videos here that are mostly scuba stuff, and then check out my the Scuba Geek YouTube channel, and then I have those on Instagram too. My Instagram is Carlos Faught Marketing is the main one. I have some others, but I will get those listed on here on my profiles and get everything done eventually. And my Facebook as well. I have several different pages on Facebook. My main, which is the Beach Geek. So there's things. Follow me if you would. I would appreciate it. Follow me here if you would. I would love to get some followers. And I promise you guys, I won't let you down here. I will post content that is good, informational, that will help you and has value to it. And then on my other ones, I will post some that will be more of the entertainment nature, and hopefully gain some followers. And I hope you have a very blessed week, and a Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah, and just take care, and look me up and hook me up. Thanks so much, guys.